In this video, I want to show you how some really subtle changes to your stroke can lead to being several seconds faster per 100, even though it's quite hard to recognize those changes without slowing down some video. So let's take a look at how one swimmer who I've worked with recently has taken his times from a bit over 140 pace per 100 down into the low 130s. Hi, Brenton here from Effortless Swimming. If you're new to these videos, I'm a swim coach based out of Australia. My background's as a national swimmer, and I've coached at Masters Swim Club to 6 national championships. But what I do primarily now is I work with people on their technique. We run clinics here in Australia, we run camps here and overseas, and I work with people online as well to help them improve their freestyle, whether you're a triathlete, open water swimmer, or a pool swimmer. Now, a couple months ago, a triathlete contacted me, Chris. He said, I'm strong on the run, I can ride well, but my swim is letting me down, and I need some help to get down to these times that I would like to achieve in order to do really well in my triathlon. So he went through the 5-day catch challenge, which you might have seen before. We've had thousands of people go through that 5-day challenge and have really good results. Now, with that, it took off about 5 or 6 seconds per 100 after that course, and this video is from after doing that course. So he improved really nicely from there. And then he started sending me some videos, and we started working together with the stroke analysis, and we wanted to find some extra speed. So let's take a look at the first video that he sent me after going through the catch challenge. And I'm only going to really stick to the main things that I could notice here, because generally, the body position was pretty good. Head, hips and heels were near the surface here. Not right at the surface, but generally, pretty good. The thing that really stood out to me was that his catch was too deep. So as we slow this down, you'll see that he was going quite deep in the water with both arms. So it's not like you wouldn't call it windmilling, right? But it was still a very sort of straight and rounded pull through and going too deep. So here at the start of the catch, that's quite a good position. Then as he goes down towards the end of the catch right there, you'll notice that the arms fit almost completely straight. And one of the things that we do like to look at here is the angle of the arm at the end of the catch. So around about there, if we were to measure this angle, you will see that it's around about 148 degrees. And the range that we see most of the best freestylers in the world go to is about 100 to 120. So that would look a little bit more like this, where the upper arm is going to be up a bit higher and wider, and the hand and forearm somewhere down about there. So you can see that's 112 degrees. And that's where you'll find a really good catch is in that point in the stroke. And the other difference there is that the fingertips won't be quite as deep. So if he were to basically just come up a little bit shallower with his arm, let that elbow move out to the side a bit more, that's what will get him into a really good catch. And the difference there is, first of all, we'll normally find that the hand and forearms angled a bit better to press back against the water. But the other thing with that too is we find it tends to set people into the stronger muscles through their back and shoulders when they're out this little bit wider. So that was the first thing I noticed. He was too deep and too straight. So this entire sort of catch and pull was a bit too sort of rounded. It was like a sort of circle or half windmill under the body a bit. Same on the right hand side. Arms straight, straight, straight. And there as well, there's very little bend happening in the arm. Now it's not like he wasn't swimming well. 140 pace is still good, but you can see there was a lot of opportunity there to find extra speed and really improve the catch. So the position we'd want to work towards was a little bit like that there. So shallower, elbow out to the side a bit more. Now from the side view, let's have a look at that same thing, but from the side. Now you'll see, okay, starting the catch there, going down, not too bad, but it's not ideal either. So you can see that he's probably in a slightly dropped elbow position at the end of the catch. So what we like to look at is if you're getting a high elbow catch in this part of the stroke right here, if we draw a line from your shoulder to your hand, if the elbow is above that straight line, then it's a high elbow catch, which should be up somewhere like that. All right, the elbow's there. If it's below that, then we consider it dropping the elbow. And you can see that was slightly dropped. Now it's not too bad, because still that's a decent amount of surface area that he's got to press back with. But obviously we can improve that. But the main thing here is looking at this, that arm's fairly deep in the water. So shoulders a little bit sort of rounded forwards as well, not using the lats as well as he probably could. And that's the main thing that we really sort of focused on in the beginning. Now, the other sort of thing there that I was looking at too was the shoulders were sometimes just over rotating a bit, probably just rolling onto the side a little bit far there. So if we look at the furthest point of rotation, which is at that part of the stroke, and we measure that there, you can see he's around about 55 degrees with his shoulder rotation. Now, when you actually look at elite swimmers from the front, you measure their shoulder rotation, most of them are around 35 degrees, give or take, 5 degrees either way, typically in that sort of range. And look, when you look at them out of the water, it sometimes looks like they're probably going to like 90 degrees. But when you actually film it from the front and slow it down, it's only 35 degrees, give or take. So when people are trying to they're thinking of their rotation, sometimes they just go too far, because if you're at 90 degrees or even at 55 degrees, it makes it so much harder to get a good catch, like a high elbow position, because it's just too much strain. It's too awkward for your shoulder to get into that high elbow position when you're that far on the side. So that is why we like to stick to that 35 degree range, roughly. So let's have a look at the next video. So this is after a few analysis videos and a little bit of coaching. And this was, I can't remember if it was before or after he did his half Ironman swim, but he did his half Ironman swim and he swam a 29:30 thereabouts. So he broke that 30-minute mark and it was really really good swim. That's low 130s per 100 meters. And it's a great benchmark to get through, is that 30-minute mark. And so I think there's still more room for improvement, but you can see here, all right, this is after a number of months. Now, these changes are subtle, and you might look at this and go, it's not that different, but in terms of time, hitting better times, and in terms of when we slow it down and actually look at it, you will notice that it's actually a lot better than where it was before. So if we look from here, you'll see now he's starting to get a slightly better catch. If you look at this left hand here, see how the hand and forearm's moving down sort of independently of this upper arm moving for at least a little bit. And I'll show you what I mean here if we zoom in on it. So we got, all right, that there stays in a similar position while that hand and forearm just tips down a little bit. So that's that nice, that's that better sort of high elbow position that we want to get to here. Hand and forearm's a little bit more vertical, so that's a slightly better angle to press back with. And that's that's a really important part of why he was able to get that little bit quicker over the last few months, is that better catch, and it's a better depth. So if we look at this from the front, you'll see now that he's in a much better depth on most of these strokes. Let's play it through. Particularly with this left arm there. So you'll notice that angle. Okay, it's not perfect yet, but it's certainly better. So all right, 118 degrees, that's within that 100 to 120 degree range. And look, I would still probably want to get the elbow out to the side a little bit more here. That's actually pretty good. I'd still want to probably get up to about this sort of height with the upper arm. But still, it's a much better improvement. And again, you might look at that and go, oh, it's not perfect yet, but what you realize is it takes time to develop this stuff, and it's often these incremental improvements over time. Those that are patient are the ones that have the results. Those that are looking for a shortcut and are not willing to commit the time are the ones that typically won't make those sustainable improvements. So you can see there, nice improvement, and it's obviously resulted in some quicker times there, which is great. And then on the right hand side, again, it's not perfect, and that's the one that's still going a little bit deep, but it is better than before. We're getting a little bit more bend in the elbow than before, but this is the one that we need to focus on a little bit more. And the thing with that is, most people on their breathing side, so I can see he's just taking a breath there, it's usually this arm that's the harder one to improve, because when your head's off to the side, that you're often on your side a little bit more, it's a little bit more challenging to improve the catch on that breathing side. So this is the one that sort of comes second in regards to what tends to improve first. But again, you can just see these really subtle changes can make a big difference. But I would imagine over the next 12 months, as he's working towards some of these events that he's got coming up, that he he will be able to get well under that 30-minute mark. Be looking at 28, 27, so on, with some of these changes and a bit more time to practice as well. So I just want to show you in this video how these subtle changes actually can make quite a bit of a difference. Even though they're hard to see, he can feel the difference, which is great. It's often a good sign if you can feel a little bit more pressure on the hand and forearm as you're going through it. And if you're looking to improve your catch in your pool, the first place I'll typically send people to is that 5-day catch challenge. So I'll put that link below if you'd like to go through it. It's only $10, but we've had so many people get great results with that. It is worth trying it if you haven't gone through it yet. And then those that have gone through it, we're recommending them go through the 8-week Faster Freestyle course inside our membership. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. We've got a few more sort of case studies coming up as well, because I find that when you see just normal people making these improvements, that belief gets built. It's great watching elite swimmers and professional triathletes swim, but there are everyday people or people, amateur triathletes who are doing this, who can really have made some great improvements. So I want to show you that it's possible and that that opportunity is certainly available to you. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week with another video.